Good Monday makers, and welcome back to another episode of Maker Pipe Monday. This is our weekly build showcase series where we round up projects from the community so you can get ideas and inspiration for your own builds. We look at interesting hacks and techniques that people use in their projects, and today's no different. There's a wide variety of different things we're looking at. There's a workbench design that we're going to talk about some simple bracing methods for. There's a retail space that recently built a clothing rack and shelving system. There's an interesting hack for attaching and securing a bolt or stud inside of half-inch empty conduit with epoxy. There's a two-tiered storage cart for storing paintings. And there's also a swing open guard door for a CNC. So there's a lot of great projects to pull inspiration from. Let's jump right in and check them out. First up, we've got a project from Hal, and this is the workbench design that he shared. And he said he's going to be doing some ham radio projects. So he's building this workbench, and he's going to have the ham radio attached to it and some different things. It's a really simple workbench, and he shared kind of his dimensions and things like that. And he was really interested in wanting to know if he should add bracing to it. So he said he's got some pegboard that he's going to add on there, so that'll be cool for storing different things. And he said it's 48 inches wide, it looks like. So I don't know if bracing is absolutely necessary. I don't think he's going to be storing a lot of stuff on it. But if you did want to add some bracing, I think there's some really simple techniques that you could do. One that we like to do is similar to this project from Blake, is you just do one diagonal from one side to the other. So from this bar all the way down to the other, you just use a T connector and kind of swivel it on that bar and then go up and do the same up here. And it's a really simple method, but it adds a lot of rigidity. You could also do some other things where you could kind of do that same design, but you could do an X brace. And usually with desks and things like that, that one maybe isn't the best option for bracing, just because if you got to put your legs underneath, you don't want to bump into that. But here it looks like he's going to have that closed off anyway, probably be standing up here. It's a pretty tall table. But yeah, you could do that X bracing. You could also do maybe a T straight down and then 180 here and add like another leg in the middle. I think that would add a lot of rigidity. You could also do a four-way connector, kind of do the same thing and go straight down and then do another four-way here to add another leg in the front. You can do the same in the back. There's quite a few different simple methods that I think you could do that would work really well. And it really just depends on kind of the weight you're expecting this to hold and kind of what you need it to do for you. But I think those are some simple options. Thanks so much, Hal. Let us know how it comes out. And if you do build it, we'd love to see it. Thanks so much for posting that in the community. Next up is a project from Josh, and this is the retail clothing rack that they made for their showroom. And it's really great. It looks really good. And looks like it's holding a lot for them. So they have this long wall and they built this system to hold their hoodies and their t-shirts, and they've got some decorations on there, and it's just a really great looking design for kind of a clothing showroom. And for the design, you can see looks like they use 90s in the four corners just to kind of make the basic rectangle. It's always a good place to start. Then they just kind of added connectors where they needed shelving and things like that. So you can see they have a T connector here about halfway down, and they did the same thing on this side to add a shelf, and it kind of sits underneath the hoodies here. And then they use another T connector to go from side to side, kind of in the opposite direction, so they could hang the hoodies on it. Very similar design up here on this top one. And then it looks like they used T connectors for all the shelves, and it looks like it's working great. And they have some beautiful stained wood there on top, and they kind of just followed that same kind of technique to add shelving wherever they need it. So it's a really great design. It looks awesome. So thanks so much, Josh, for sharing that. Really cool to see. Next up is a project from Mark, and he's working on a build that's going to be a little bit submerged underwater, and he needs to add a narrow bar from one side to the other. I don't know if he said exactly what he's building, which I'm really curious to find out. But he's kind of in this problem-solving stage before he does the build. It sounds like he's got the build planned out, but this is kind of a problem he had to solve within that. And what he did was he got one of these anchor bolts, and he said he wrapped it in electrical tape and pushed that in to half-inch EMT conduit. And he said it actually gripped pretty well, but it would still pop out with a little bit of force. So he wanted to make sure it was secure, because obviously he really needs it to be a stud that's set in there. So what he decided to do, since it's going to be underwater for a little bit, he wanted to use water weld. And he said he put a little bit on the outside of the anchor bolt, put that in, and then he added more out here with a washer. and then he used a Dremel to kind of smooth it out and a wire brush just to get it where it looks nice. And it looks like it's working great. He said he's really happy with the outcome. He said there may be another easier solution, but he was really interested to try this when it popped in his head, so he did, and he wanted to share it with the community. So that's really cool. Mark, thanks so much for sharing that. I love seeing your idea. Definitely share your build with us and how you utilize that hack, because I think it's really great. Next up is a project from MG, and this is a review they left on the 90-degree connector. Really appreciate you leaving the review. Said he built a cabinet with a two-tiered shelving system inside for storing paintings, and that's really interesting. You can see here he used 90-degree connectors in all the corners. I would imagine the same thing on the bottom here. And then he used T connectors to add shelving where needed. And then he said, I think he said he used, let's see, soft cloth line to separate the paintings. You can see there, which he just attached to the pipes. He just went over it and then tied them there, which is a really easy way to do that. It looks like he's storing a lot of paintings in there. Looks like it's working great. Nice little compact storage area. Looks like he added some boards on the outside just so it's nice and secure and clean looking. That's a great project. Really appreciate you leaving the review. Glad you had a good experience. That's really awesome. Thanks so much for posting them, MG. We love seeing that. Next up is a project from Barefootly Rooted on Instagram. You can see here that he does some milling. He's got this CNC here he does some work on, and he recently completed this project, and it was a swing open guard kind of door for this CNC area. So we'll kind of go through here. He posted a story which we really appreciate, but here's kind of the main, if I can stop it in time, here's kind of the main design. So he secured the conduit to this 2x4 framework that he has around the CNC, and he said instead of using one hole straps, he actually flattened out, see if we can see that, he flattened out some conduit and drilled holes, and that's how he secured it to the wood frame. And then he had some adjustable angle connectors that he attached to pipes that are connected to the wood frame. And this allowed him to swivel it open. So you can kind of see here, he did that and it swings up and down. And then he added some of this, I'm not sure what material that is, but it allows him to swing it back up into place, and he can open it, and using the adjustable angles allows him to just swing it back open and secure. So that's a really simple project, really great. Glad to see that you shared that. That's really awesome and maybe useful. I know we have a lot of, hobbyists and machinists in here. So I think that's a really great project. But thanks everybody for posting your builds. Keep on sharing them. We love doing this. We love sharing creative ways that you guys are using ordinary materials. So definitely keep posting them, and we'll keep doing these episodes. Thanks everybody for watching, and we'll see you in the next one.